Congratulations on purchasing a new F150. In this video, we're going to be doing a handover video of the F150 Lariat. It's best to watch the video in full from beginning to end, and then if there's something specific that interested you or you want to recap on, look in the description below and skip to the chapter that covers off on that item. The F150 comes with two smart keys with fobs. The keys have an unlock and lock function. They also have a double tap key. This is to remotely start the vehicle. Below that is another double tap key to release the tailgate. And back up. You also have this final button, which is a car locator. If you find yourself in a car park and don't remember exactly where you parked your F150, you simply tap this car locator button at the bottom of the key and the car will start hooting at us. To get it to stop, you've got to press the button again. By tapping that button, the vehicle will start to hoot at you so that you can find it with audio noise. The key also has a physical key that can be released from inside the fob just there. This key is used to start the vehicle in the event that the key fob's battery has gone flat. It can also be used to lock and unlock the glove box. To use the remote functionality, you have to first hit the lock key and then straight after that, double tap the remote start. So lock, double tap. Once you've done that and you approach the car still remains locked. You would have to unlock it, enter the vehicle, put your foot on the brake and hit the start button again in order to be able to drive off. You can also remote switch off the car simply by double tapping that button again. The key is also a proximity key, meaning that as long as it's on your person, anywhere on you, and in proximity to the front doors and sensors, you can simply walk up to the car, press this button on the door handle, and the car unlocks. You can do the reverse to lock it. Once it's closed and all the doors are closed, you simply press that button and it locks the car. If you try and lock the car, but one of the doors haven't closed properly, it will start giving you a warning. That double hit on the hooter lets you know that one of the doors haven't closed properly, so the car hasn't locked itself, and it's reminding you to go and check which door you forgot to close. Even without the key, you can still access the vehicle using the keypad on this door. On delivery of your new F150, you will receive a pass code for this keypad. You can then enter that code in here and unlock the vehicle. You can also reset that code from the onboard computer simply by using the main screen menu. The advantages of the keypad is that you can leave the key in the car, lock it with the keypad, go for a jog, come back, and then unlock your car so you don't have to carry your key with you, especially if you want to do water sport. It's important to note that the car will lock with this keypad even if the key is inside the car. The latch to release the front bonnet is on the passenger side of the vehicle. To release it, there is a latch just there where my finger is, and you slide that over, and it is on struts, so it will go up on its own. Some of the items that you should regularly take a look at under the bonnet is your brake fluid reservoir. Make sure that the fluid level is in the max position. If you ever need to access your battery terminals, positive and negative are situated there and there. The positive is usually covered up so that it isn't accidentally accessed. Your washer fluid bottle is situated just there conveniently in the front, and you should make sure that that's always topped up and full. And lastly, your water reservoir or engine coolant reservoir, which can be accessed there. It is color coded and clear see-through, so easy to make sure that you're always on the maximum level that you should be. Here are your recovery points that are bolted to the chassis on both sides. F150 is a petrol-powered engine, meaning that it uses Ford's patented easy fuel access just there. This easy fuel means that there's no cap. You simply take the fuel pump and insert it into the easy fuel cap. F150 uses a petrol unleaded fuel. Here in Australia, some of the petrol unleaded fuels are topped up or substituted with ethanol 5 and ethanol 10. This car can accept up to ethanol 10 fuels. It's worth noting that this is not a lockable fuel flap, meaning that even when the car is locked, the flap can still open. Located behind the rear seats with the jack and the spare tools is this little funnel. This funnel can be used in case you need to fill the car with a jerry can. You simply insert it into the easy fuel slot, giving you an easily accessible funnel point from there to be able to refuel your car. All right, so the electric rear tailgate can also be manually closed if necessary. Once the tailgate is open, you can access the step by pressing in on this button here and releasing the step. Once it's released, you pull it all the way out until it slips down into the open position. You simply grab it and pull it out till it's all the way out, and then you fold it up, lock it in place, and pull this up until that's locked in place. You can then use that to access the rear load area. To retract it, you do the same process backwards. You press the number 1 button in there, which then allows that to slot back in. You press down on the number 2 release and bring that straight down there and push it back in just there. The step can then be lifted up into a horizontal position, and then it just slides back in and clips into place. As a safety feature, the vehicle will not retract the automatic tailgate when the step is deployed. If I try, it gives me that warning to say that it can't. F150 is also fitted with clamp points. So if you're using this as a workbench, you can put a clamp in there so that you can use it to clamp something down that you're working on the back of the bench. It's also fitted with a bottle opener just there. F150 is fitted with 4 removable tie-down points. These tie-down points have their own key to release them, and they will be supplied to you when you take delivery of your new F150. It is a snug fit, which makes them quite hard to remove, but to remove them, you unlock them, lift the lever, and then push them down and out. Once they're out, you can get a better look at how they actually work. This is the release latch just there, and that's the little guiding slot that allows it to fit in there. Inside the rear tub, there is also a light switch situated just here, which once you press it, it activates these LED cabin lights as well as the high-mounted LED cabin lights. It also has a 12-volt power point in the tub situated just there. F150 is rated to tow 4.5 tons. In order to be able to do that, you do have to fit the bigger tow ball. If you want to tow something smaller, you can remove the bigger tow ball and insert a regular size 3.5 ton rated tow ball. To remove the tow ball tongue, you have to remove the safety pin and then the holding latch, and then you can remove the whole tow ball tongue from the car. To put it back in, it's the same in reverse. Put that in first. So from your tool pouch, you can remove the wheel spanner first, and then you remove these 3 rods from inside the pouch. Once you've got all 3, you assemble them using this little connecting slot there that has to go into that pin. To lower that pin, you just push this down, and then you can slip that in and release the pin once it's cleared. It then locks into place, just like that. You then assemble all 3 rods. And using a slot side, you go in through there. This is probably the trickiest part because you've just got to line it up. It does have a little white funnel though to guide you. Once you got it right, it slots straight in and locks into place, just like that. This shot indicates the angle at which you would need to go through the slot in order to find the guiding pin. To then wind it down, you slot this part of the spanner into the last remaining pin, and you use that like a handle to wind it. F150 is fitted with traditional child lock for the back doors. You remove the key fob again, you slot it in there, and then you lock the child lock into place. You'll know it's in the lock position because this little icon tells you to lock it that way. There's also a black arrow just there which shows you that it's in the locked position. To unlock it, in the reverse. Looking at the back seats can fold up. They're not clipped in place or anything. You simply lift them and then clip them in place. They then lock in place at the top. Once they're locked, to release them, you pull this lever up and then you can drop them back down. If you don't want the seats to be able to go up and down, you can remove the key fob and you can slide it in there and lock them in place. Once they're locked in place, they won't actually lift up. And also unlock them in the reverse. Once they're pushed up and locked into place, you get access to this modulated storage space just there. There's a latch on both sides, and once you release that side and this side, it folds down and stows away to give you a flat loading area. To deploy it, you do the same in reverse. You lift it up, push it out, and latch it in. In addition to that, you also have this additional compartment that can fold out just there and can slide out and latch into place just there to create 2 separate storage compartments. The seats can be used whether the compartment is up or down. So even in this fully deployed position, the seats can be released and function normally. The electric windows are operated from this control panel here. The rear electric windows are those in the front of those 2. The front, you'll notice, have this little A on them. That means that they're auto up and auto down. That means you can pinch them once and they'll open the window. The mirrors can be adjusted using this toggle switch there. You press the left or the right mirror. Once the little orange light comes on, that's the mirror that you're adjusting. You also have your electric mirror fold back function by simply pressing that button over there. And you can also lock the rear electric windows to make them child safe by pressing that button just there. Your central locking for unlocking and locking, as well as your 3 memory seat positions. To use them, you simply adjust all your electric mirrors and the electric seats to the position that you want them to be in, and then you press and hold one of the memory position buttons until you hear that tone, and then those memory positions are locked in place. This button is for the rear electric tailgate to open and close it. This is for the rear tub lights to switch them on and off. This is your normal headlight operation, so it has 4 positions: the off, the park, the auto, and the on position. If you hit that button there, you switch the fogs on and off. These 2 buttons here are to brighten and dim the rheostat of the front dash. This button here is your electric pedal operation. So the electric pedals on the F150 are actually controllable. You can control at what length they're sitting at. So you can press this button to get them to move further away from you, or press it this way to bring the pedals closer to you. And that is your electric park brake. Push it in to release, and up and out to catch. Moving to the digital dash display, you'll notice in the center of the dash display, surrounded by all of your traditional indicators, you have your main computer menus. Starting off at the top with My View, followed by Trip Computer, Vehicle Information, Towing, Navigation, Phone, Audio, and Settings. My View is a customizable view, so if you click into that, you can then customize the menus that you want to see in the My View menu. And finally, you can also configure them from the Configure My View. So you can press OK to add, and it then brings up these screens that you can add into My View. You can have a calm screen, fuel economy on and off, and you can toggle through these menus and you can add or remove them as you go along. Now, you can see there has to be a minimum of 2 selected menus, so it won't let you remove below 2. There is also a maximum amount of screens that you can add, which in this case is 7. Once you've added 7 and you try add an 8th, it brings up a warning to say you can't add anymore. So you've got to really select the 7 different views that you want to have in the My View menu. Now, in case you're wondering what I'm using to navigate through this My View menu, I'm using the controllers on the right-hand side of the steering wheel, the arrows up and down, and the OK button just there. You can also use the back button on this controller to go back. So if you want to go back from the configurer back into My View, you just keep using the back arrow. You can also hit the menu option to activate the center menu. So at any stage, if you've dialed into one of these menus, you can hit the menu button and it takes you back to the original list of menus with My View at the top. There are several different menus in the main menu options, so we've already covered off My View. The next is the Trip Computer. If you click into the Trip Computer, you have many other options here where you can check your fuel economy. You can also check your traditional Trip Computer 1 and Trip Computer 2. You also have the Eco Behavior option, which lets you know how your behaviors are in terms of acceleration, deceleration, and speed. And you can also enter the Driver Assistance menu, which will give you the balance of these controllers, which will give you the balance of these menus that you can scroll through. The Vehicle Information menu allows you to access tyre pressures, your off-road status, power distribution, engine information. Power distribution will show you as you drive which wheels are distributing power to the road. The off-road settings will give you your pitch, angle, and yaw angles, so that you can see what position your car is angled at in an off-road situation. Inside the towing menu is where you would access, again, you can access your angles, but in addition it also gives you the position of the electric brake and what gain it's set to. The navigation option will access some of the navigation menus that you've preset. So if you've preset your home or any other previous destinations, you can jump in here and access them, or your favorites or points of interest nearby. So this gives you a quick access to navigate to frequently stored places that you want to get to. Similarly, the phone menu will allow you to access a phone once it's paired, and the audio menu will give you access to the radio or music. Finally, you have the settings menu, which allows you to configure your gauges, change your speedometer to miles, access your eco coach, and your towing coach, as well as vehicle maintenance information. And tyre pressures. So that's a wrap on the main menus that are available to you on the centered dash display. F150 has got 7 different drive modes that can be accessed using this controller. You can dial it on, so it will always default to normal, and then you can slide over to slippery, and depending on which mode you select, it will activate or deactivate 4-wheel drive and ESP, and it will do diff locks and all of that for you automatically. It's important to note that if you're going to be using any of the off-road modes like mud ruts, deep sand or snow, as well as the slippery modes, you've got to pay attention to whether it's activated or deactivated the differential lock, because the rear differential should only be locked on unsealed surfaces. From normal mode, you can then scroll to the left, and these are more of your on-road driving mode, so your tow haul mode, your eco mode, and your sport mode. On the left hand side of the steering wheel, you have access to your intelligent cruise control. You can activate it by switching it on and off here. You can then cancel or reset it or resume it using the center button there. You can also decrease your speed once set or increase your speed once set using those 2 buttons. This button allows you to adjust your following distance, and this one activates the lane keep assist functionality. Below that, you have your volume control buttons and your voice command activation button just there. Your start stop button has 2 functionalities. The one is to switch off the car. If you press the start stop button and your foot is not on the brake, you enter accessory mode. In accessory mode, the green light flashes, letting you know that the car is powered up but not switched on. To switch it on, you simply put your foot on the brake and hit the button again. The car will then start up and the green light will stay on and remain on. To switch it off, you simply press the button again and disturb one of the doors. And once the doors are disturbed, the car will shut down. If you switch off the car and don't disturb a door, it will go into accessory mode, assuming that you're still in the car and you still want access to some of the functions and the electronics on board the vehicle. Your brake controller, electric brake controller, you can set the gain using the minus and the plus button, and you can also manually brake the trailer additionally by using this switch there and pinching it together. The Pro Trailer controller allows you to navigate a trailer or reverse a trailer without using the steering wheel. Once a trailer is connected, you simply switch the system on, and then you navigate left and you tell it to steer left or right depending on where you want to go, and it counter steers the steering wheel for you. This is to switch the ESP or traction control on and off. You would really only do that in an off-road environment when you're trying to create more traction by getting the wheels to spin. Your emergency hazard warning lights, these are your park sensors that can be switched on and off just there, and this button is to activate your cameras and reverse and 360-degree view cameras. By hitting that menu button, it brings up all your different camera views, which you can scroll through and select and use the one that you need the most. Your 12-inch digital display for the center console is actually a split screen. So just running down this line here, you get a small section of the screen and the main section of the screen. On the main section, you can set your audio, you can click over to your phone, you can flip over to navigation, and you basically control what you want to see on the big screen using these bottom buttons just there. If you want to control what you're seeing on this little screen, you can use these arrows here, and you can access zone lighting as an example. You can go into your off-road degree readouts. You can pull up your eco behavior, and as you keep scrolling, it keeps giving you more and more menu options on this little small screen just there. If you press that button over there, you can also scroll through the options for this smaller screen and select the one that you want. On the main screen, this is a more traditional screen and operates much like most of the other Ford screens that you would see on the rest of Ford vehicles. It's got the back arrow for going back. So you can access audio. You can also go into apps and set up Android Auto or Apple CarPlay. In the settings button, you can set up and set your parameters for the rest of your menus, and you can also scroll through the menus. And then in the features section, you can access driver assist aids, zone lighting and towing. So once you go into driver assist, you can also tweak your cruise control, your speed limiters, and all sorts of other options that you can adjust from here. To keep it simple, at any given stage, if you want to understand what any of these do, you just press the I button and it will bring up a little information screen and explain what that feature does and how to use it. Once you hit this camera button at the top, it brings up your camera angles, and you've also got a drop-down menu there which allows you to select how you want your cameras to prioritize your view and show you whatever it is that you want to see. In the 360 view, you can also bring up this menu, which then allows you to focus in on a specific corner of the vehicle. If there's something that you want to have a closer look at, you can also zoom back out and zoom back into another section of the car. To set up a phone, you simply click the phone button on the main menu there, hit the add phone button.
Search for your vehicle on your device and select it once it is found.
You would then go into your device's Bluetooth settings and you'd ask it to pair a new device. If you've already got sync loaded on your smartphone like I do, it will automatically detect the car and it will give you the connect option. You simply hit allow all the way through these menus and the car is now paired to the phone.
For your safety, please stay alert to changing road conditions and use Sync's voice-activated features while your vehicle is in motion.
Android Auto is now connected and it is wireless, so it will just bring up all your menus just there and it's ready to use. Simple as that. To disconnect the two, you can go into your phone's menu and you can ask it to forget that car if you wanted to. You can also connect multiple phones. Alright, so you got a 12-volt power point just there, a USB-A and a USB-C. You got your volume controllers here for your radio and plus the power button, audio buttons, as well as if you want to plug in a USB and access audio from the USB. You've also got your calm screen, which switches off this center display for long distance night driving. Your track selectors as well as pause and play buttons and your tune button. Below that you got your aircon control section. Power it on and off just there. You can then adjust passenger and driver side dual aircon, or you can hit the dual button and link them both to the driver's controller. Max aircon button, air recirculation, the auto function, which will automatically try and maintain the temperature that you've selected, but you can still regulate the fan speed in the auto position. Your direction indicators, front and rear demisters, as well as your heated and air-conditioned seats for driver and front passenger. And this dialer is for your fan speed up and down to increase or decrease fan speed.
Rolling.
Your gear lever can be retracted by pressing this button just there. The reason you'd need to retract that is if you want to use the table, which unfolds just there and folds flat in this area to give you a nice working area in case you need it. You can also fold it back up, clip it into place, hit that lever and redeploy the gear selector. At the top here you have your cabin lights. You also have your sunroof control as well as your sunroof shade controller. You also operate that small little back window just there, like a little electric window operator switch. and then here you have your sunglass holder. That brings us to the end of our handover video. If there's something else that you'd like to get a refresher on, look at the description below and click to the chapter that interests you. If you've got any questions, leave them in the comments below. Don't forget to like and subscribe our video.